himself or herself has to determine which character is going to be the most popular, which character is just going to be sort of a throwaway character. Unfortunately, in my cameos, I've been like a throwaway character, but I'm beginning to resent it.
Thank you.
But you're not a throwaway character. I mean, my favorite scene, guys, when we did the Guardians of
Did
the Galaxy.
anybody ask you your favorite scene? This is my thing. Yes, about his favorite scene. You get up here.
Listen, I go to all these cameos. I've seen them all, and I see the ones they never release. The one that I enjoyed the most watching him in is when he did the Guardians 2. He wears an actual spacesuit. So they tell him, hey Stan, you're gonna be in, this is your scene and this is what you're gonna do. Great, let's have some fun. So, but you gotta go to wardrobe. He goes to wardrobe and he's thinking he's just gonna wear something simple. They take out this big spacesuit, like a NASA spacesuit. He puts it on, no, he stands up, they put it on him, and then next thing he says, okay, Stan, let's go. And he goes, I can't move. So they had to escort him.
That's why the, what do you call the guy who watches?
The Watcher?
Well, that's a good name for him. That's why the Watcher doesn't really do much. He can't move in that stupid outfit.
It was, and the part where, like you said, the two cameo scenes that he got, when James Gunn finally said what he was going to do with them, I just like, oh my God, you know what you're doing? They go, and he says, F I don't. That's why I'm doing it, because I want everybody to know that it's him, why he's in all these different movies. Because each studio, you know, you have Fox, you have Sony, and everybody else, and they can never say, is he or isn't he? Well, what he did, he actually did it. So there's things to come, guys. It's I wish I could tell you.
I wish you would tell me.
Let's go to the next question.
Trying to address morals and imparting them to us.
Well, to tell you the truth, the thing I spend most of my time thinking of is just the story. But when I'm writing the story, if I can put in a little something to make the reader aware that we all deserve a fair shake in the world and so forth, that's good. But that isn't the thing uppermost in my mind. The most important thing I have to do, the most important thing any writer has to do, is write a story that you would enjoy reading. And once you get the reader's attention, then you can put in whatever little messages you want. I've tried not to put in too many messages. It isn't fair. I'm a writer. I'm not a clergyman. I shouldn't be teaching religion or things like that. But every so often when you write something, you get an idea. You think, well, I ought to just put this point in or that point in, but I won't overdo it. I try not to overdo it. Although you always tell me I overdo things. No, I don't. Okay, fine. No.
Thank you so much, Stan.
Thank you.
You're the man.
Headphones are great when they stay in my ear. Let's go.
When you first created Spider-Man, where did you see him to be today?
Where would Spider-Man be today? Well, I hoped that he'd be popular. I didn't think, I'll be honest with you, when I first did Spider-Man, I didn't think he'd become as popular as he is. I'm even surprised myself. He's like the most popular character in the world today. And I don't know, did I tell you the story of how my boss reacted when I came up with the idea for Spider-Man? If not, I'll tell you how some publishers can be geniuses. He said to me, Stan, why don't you come up with a new superhero for us? So I went home and I tried to think, and when you do a new superhero, the first thing you need to figure out is what is a superpower? And I couldn't think of a new superpower, and I saw a fly crawling on a wall. And I thought, gee, maybe I could get a superhero that could stick to walls like an insect. And that started me thinking. And then I thought, what do I call him? Insect Man? Mosquito Man? And I got down the list, I went to Spider-Man, and somehow Spider-Man, it sounded mysterious. So I thought, oh great, I'll give him the power of a spider. I'll let him shoot webs and swing from building to building. It'll look good. And I got real excited about it, so I ran into my publisher and I said, I've got this character for you called Spider-Man, and I want him to be a teenager, and I want him to have personal problems, because that'll make him different than all the other heroes. And this is proof of why bosses are infallible and are always right. My boss said to me, that is the worst idea He said, first of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. Then he said, you want him to be a teenager? A teenager can only be a sidekick, that's all. And then he said, and you want him to have personal problems? Stan, don't you know what a superhero is? So boy, I left the office with my tail between my legs. I was very unhappy. But we were killing a magazine called Amazing Fantasy. Now, when you kill a magazine, nobody cares what you put in the last issue, because you're killing it. So just to get it out of my system, I put Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy, featured him on the cover, and forgot about him. A month later, the sales figures came in, and Spider-Man had been, in Amazing Fantasy, had been our best-selling book. So my publisher ran into me when the sales figures came in. Stan, remember your character Spider-Man that we both liked so much? He said, let's do it as a series. And that's how Spidey was born.
You see yourself from here on out. What do you want to do? I mean, they say, are you going to retire? Are you going to call it quits? Are you done with conventions? What is it?
Oh, you can't be done with conventions. When you meet the fans, that's the most fun you can have. That's wonderful. How could you ever want to give that up? And no, I love conventions. I love what I do. I love staying home also. I'm quite lucky. The last part of my life is very, it's still interesting, and I think the most important thing is to stay interested if you can. And I'm interested in comics, and I'm interested in movies and what goes on, so I love being a part of it all. And I love doing these little panels, even if the thing falls out of my ear.
All right, guys, that's it.
Bye.